Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Welcome back. Okay, so today is December 11th, 2020. If you're new here, of course, my name is Heather Hope. I wrote this book called The Inspired Entrepreneur, and it's 366 days of inspiration for the entrepreneur. And so what that means is it's the law of attraction. It's business and the law of attraction. For the past couple of years, I've been a business coach, a law of attraction business coach, helping all kinds of entrepreneurs, business owners, restaurant owners, bakery owners, actors, TV show hosts, you name it, and coaches as well. And through all of that work, I put together this book. Okay, so today's message. So this is a daily podcast. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the messages that you send me. I appreciate it. Thank you for those who are purchasing my book. You know what I forgot to mention yesterday was that my workbook, not my workbook, that's not what it's called. My journal is published, and I forgot to put the link down below, so I'm going to have to do that. I created the 30 Days to Manifest Your Success journal. So it's 90 days worth of journal entries, and it takes you just easily through the three things that I do every day to manifest what you want. So what I do, I'm way too honest, I swear. I could sit here and I could say I do this every single day religiously. And every once in a while I think about, gosh, Heather, you probably should just do it, but life, right? So I don't do this every single day. I really don't. I will have weeks that I will do it daily, and then I just kind of fall off, just like a regular human that kind of forgets or just gets a busy day and then gets off course and then all that stuff, right? And so, but when I do this daily, I feel incredible. I manifest like crazy. I am the happiest that I am. So I strive daily to do this. So the three things I do is I meditate. This is just pure, 15, 20 minutes or maybe even longer of relaxation, quieting my mind. I have a recliner, I have a meditation room, and I go in there and I just recline all the way back. And this morning I did it as soon as I woke up, and I put some soft music on. I typically don't, but that was quite nice this morning. And I relax. At least I relaxed. I relax. I don't always necessarily meditate, but when I do, it's pretty incredible. But some mornings or some days I just don't achieve it. So, but at the very least, I try to relax my mind and my body, and I can feel the resistance letting go, and I feel good. So when I'm done with that, I move into visualizing. So I tend to have kind of one kind of topic thing that I'm focused on in my life, and especially for that activity. And I will visualize something about that. I'll start thinking about it, and then I let my mind, my imagination, my vortex open up and just guides me through a visualization. And after I do that for several minutes, I get my journal out and I write. And a lot of times I'll write the same thing that I just visualized, or I'll embellish on it, or I'll take something from that and write about it. When I did this, I just write whatever comes to my mind most of the time. So I created a journal to allow others who want to go along this journey with me to have like a space that they can do the same thing. So it's 3 30-day chunks of journal entries. So it'll guide you through 30 days at a time. So what the goal is to have one thing that you're focused on. So for me, it's living in a town in Phoenix, outside Phoenix, that I want to live in. And so I started doing that a couple months ago, and I didn't know how I was going to live there. And after several days of doing this practice, all these ideas and things came to me. Things where I was attracting the way, parts of the way. And so I was really impressed with what was coming to me, and just following with what felt good and with what made sense to me. And was like, oh my goodness, this is so incredible. So anyway, so I highly suggest getting this journal and doing your process and see about manifesting. So you'll manifest. So this is how I manifested my ocean view house in California. I did it in 7 days from the moment that I started religiously doing this. And I had been, vibrationally becoming a match to what I wanted, years prior. But, the month leading up to that, I was really lining up the energy. And then what happened was I got very religious about doing this practice every day. And in 7 days, I went from being on my couch in Arizona to being inside the house 7 days later in California that we ended up renting in 7 days. And I had no intention of being there. It was in Pismo Beach. A lot of you know my story, but I had no intention of being there. My intention was to be in San Francisco the next week to go see Abraham. But since I started, the practice of, my goal was ocean view house in Pismo Beach. That's what I wanted. So I was visualizing that. I was writing about that. And then I started having the ideas of how to get there without knowing that I was having the ideas. That's the thing. I did not know. I just came up with some ideas that I followed through on that had nothing to do with renting a house in Pismo Beach until the very last day. And it became reality. It was just literally the next logical step. It was such an incredible journey. I don't think I've recorded this yet, but it was an incredible journey. And I really give 95% of the credit to this practice that I just created a journal for. It's just a nice guidance for you to follow along. So right now, as it stands on Amazon, they're not linked, but I have 2 different covers that you can choose from. I have several more that I'm going to upload. So if you go through the 30 days, 30 days, 30 days and get done with your journal, you can order a new one with a different cover. So if you wanted to, so then you can have several different covers, but they're undated. You can end up skipping days, but there's a tracker in there to keep track of, that you can check off to do, your days. But it's an incredible, really great way to manifest, because what it does, it basically does 2 things. This journal does 2 things. The practice does 2 things. One is releasing resistance through meditation, and creating focus. And that's through visualizing and writing. But we're focused on one topic area. So that's what it does. And that's how you manifest. You release resistance, right? And you focus. That's how you manifest things really fast. So go get it. It's $9.99. You might see with my pricing, I love having triple digits. So go get it. It's well worth it. And they're beautiful. And we're going to get going here. So today's message is a quote, very quick quote from Abraham Hicks, that is. If you want it to be, it's meant to be. That's all. Okay. So I remember this one woman in the hot seat. She was in my group. I highly doubt, I don't know if she's in my group anymore, but she was in the hot seat and she had a dog treat company. And they were the best dog treats. And if you've been around Abraham recordings on YouTube, you've probably heard it because I think she's on a couple of them. I think they split it up, but I think it's on my channel. It might be on my channel. I don't know. I've heard it so many times because it keeps coming up, during different periods of my life. But one of that quote was in that video that Abraham told her, if you want it to be, it's meant to be. Because she was saying, well, maybe it's not meant to be, right? And that's something that is so well rehearsed with humans of, make sure this volume is up. There we go. That it's kind of like, well, if it's meant to be, it will be, right? Well rehearsed. That's how we all basically think, right? A lot of us. Abraham kind of spun it around and said, if you want it to be, it's meant to be. What does that mean? Because she was thinking she needed to give up because she was having so much problems. The problem was that she had a lot of resistance. You can hear it in her voice. You can hear it. I think Abraham even said she was whiny, or she sounded whiny. She did, but no offense to her if she's listening, but you can hear the resistance. You can hear the things that she had said, that she said maybe that she's just not smart enough. Other people are just smarter business people, that they have that natural ability. And I get that. Like, I totally get all of those thoughts that a lot of us have as business owners of, like, when we see others, and that's what we have to stop doing, is looking at other people and comparing ourselves. But, and Abraham's like, if you want it to be, it's meant to be. So what that means is decide what you want and line up with it. Period. That's all you have to do. So instead of sitting, and I deal with this with my own clients all the time, of, okay, what is it that you want? Now line up with it. What you're telling me right now is the opposite of lining up with it. Does that make sense? So it's like when you want something, but you tell me all the reasons why it can't work, or it's not going to work, or it's probably not going to work. I'm sitting here like, you're telling me what you don't want, right? So if you want it, if you truly want it, then line up with it, which means looking at what you want and focusing your thoughts purposely, being a deliberate creator with your thoughts of what you want and how wonderful it is, and daydream about it and do the 30-day thing or whatever, the 30 days to manifest your success. Do that, to practice lining up with what you want. So I can say it till I'm blue in my face, and I swear somebody will always just keep telling me what they don't want. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't hit people until, I don't know, everybody's got their thing. So, but it's kind of like you have to keep listening to Abraham to really believe what Abraham's saying. I've listened to thousands of hours of Abraham to keep getting it, to start believing it, and then start seeing it, and then believe it and see it and believe it and see it. And it's like, oh my gosh, the levels. Like, I have zero doubt at all. I got rid of my doubt a while ago because of the amount that I study, the amount that I practice, the amount that I see, the connections that I put together, the thought, the whole, So in the back of my mind, I keep thinking of writing the Soul Line Business. So my academy, my Soul Line Business Academy, I closed it, by the way. And December is the last month that it's open. So it's not open. We're closing up. Next week's going to be our last coaching call. And I decided to close it because I just didn't see what I wanted to see. Sometimes, so I have this philosophy, like I have this philosophy of sometimes you're just in too far with something to improve it. Like there's too much there to try to fix. Kind of like relationships. So it's like you can start over with a brand new relationship. It's a lot easier than trying to fix a relationship that is like insane. You know what I mean? Like I look back at my relationships and I'm like, some of them I could have repaired and gotten what I wanted from them. Looking at it now, because I know what I did to attract and to, the vibration that I had. So, but some of them were just in too far to fix, like my ex-husband, in way too far, way too much, like I want to say damage, but way too much, that it would have taken way too much focus to fix. I mean, too much. You know what I mean? Let me know if you know what I mean. But it's like it's too much work. And I'm like, no, you know what? There's got to be somebody better suited than me, for me. So for me, it's like it's easier to start over. So, but before you start over, you have to clean up your vibration. So I did. Between relationships, I cleaned up my vibration because I kept attracting really crappy men. So eventually I got smart and I stopped all the insanity and I did the things I needed to do to attract an amazing man. And I did that. So it's kind of the same thing. I need to stop what I'm doing because it's not working. It wasn't working for me. And it wasn't really working. So that was part of the thing because the vibration was just too far off for me to... I don't know if this anything makes sense, but the other thing is that I don't really want to coach anymore because I realize how much it messes with my vibration to talk about issues with clients because I'm not exempt from what I put my focus on. It's like being in the hot seat. You're not exempt. And Abraham is very clear about that. Like you can't, it's not, you think that you can get away with talking about your problems while being in the hot seat talking to Abraham, but you're not. When you're in the hot seat talking to Abraham, talking about your problems, you're still attracting those problems. You're still in that vibration. So when I'm talking to my clients, talking about issues and things that they're trying to work on and emotions and all of that, I have my focus on that. And it really doesn't benefit me at all. And in fact, I feel like it has hindered me quite a lot over the past few years and as a therapist too. So for the past 20 years, I've been working with clients and now I don't want to do it at all. So I'm done with coaching. So my soul aligned business model, my Soul Aligned Business Academy was amazing for me. I learned so much. And because this is why it's amazing and it worked for me is because I did the work. So I created the program by what I was doing in my own life and it worked so brilliantly for me. And the problem with coaching is that not many people do the work. The problem with personal development field, a lot of people don't do the work. And I hear this from other course creators and coaches that a lot of their clients don't do the work. And they do get frustrated. So that was my frustration and that just built. And so here we are. So I was done. So what I realized through the Soul Aligned business is that I love to write and I love to talk. So here we are. I wrote books and I'm doing a podcast and I love that. And I love real estate and I love some other things that I'm doing. So I'm able to pick and choose, and this was through attraction and this is through being really honest with myself with what was working and what wasn't, what I didn't like and what I love, being super honest. And when I became very honest, things started working. So things are falling into place because I stopped doing the things I didn't like doing. So if you want it to be, it's meant to be. But here's the rub. And this is something that I see a lot. I don't think people really want what they think they want. I see it a lot. people choose something. And I'm going to say one thing. A lot of people, probably most people, a lot of people choose a career, choose something because of the pay, because of the money. Not necessarily because they love doing what they're doing or love what it does, right? A lot of people go into something because of the potential of the income. But they don't succeed because they really, deep down, that's not really what they want to do. And they don't really believe that they can make money at what they really want to do, or that they have other passions, or that they have other passions and they don't even realize that they could actually do those and be successful. Wherever you put your energy, your joyous energy is what you'll be successful at. So the people who are really struggling with getting clients, I see them all the time, really struggling, coaches and other professions that are struggling to even do the work, struggling to sell their programs, or struggling to get clients that have been struggling for a long time, I could bet $100 that they truly don't want to do what they're doing. Like truly, if they were really honest, take the money out of the equation, they don't really want to do it. I had to get honest with myself. I had to. I was following other coaches that are making lots and lots of money being a coach. And of course, I have a lot of experience working with people, so it makes sense. And you get sold on the idea, you get sold on the dream from other people. And I think that can be harmful. I don't want to say harmful, but I don't think it's very helpful to be sold. That's why sales and marketing is like, you got to be, it's influential. So don't get sold on the dream, unless that dream is like hardcore your dream. So if you want it to be, it's meant to be, but you have to be honest. Do I really want this? Right? If it's not really what you want to do, focus on the things that you love in life. This is what I do. This is part of the soul line business. And so in the back of my mind, I think about writing this book. I just don't want to write it fully yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the end yet. And maybe through writing the book, I'll have the ending. Or maybe I'll never have the ending, right? Because we never get it done. But you know what I mean? So I was listening to Mike Dooley last night. I've told you guys, I don't follow anybody. But this came up in my feed. One of my clients shared a live from Mike Dooley. And so if you don't know who Mike Dooley is, I got to go soon, actually. This is a long one, but I do have to go. I have to run an errand really quick. But so Mike Dooley is doing Facebook. Okay, you guys, this is so weird. I was just checking the recording app on my phone, the window, and I just said what I just said, right? And I said, I got to go soon. I'm not even kidding. The whole program went away. It's always in my toolbar at the bottom, if that's what it's called. It's always there. Like I never, closed that window. It closed on its own. I said, I have to go soon. And it closed. It auto-saved the recording. Oh my God. We are so powerful. So, that is so crazy. That's never happened. This is 102 podcast episodes. That has never happened. Not one time until I said, I got to go soon. That's crazy. So, oh my gosh. I picked up my husband yesterday and it was all cloudy, overcast. I was so excited because we live in Arizona and we didn't even get our monsoon season this year. So it was like, we never get rain. All super cloudy. I pick him up. I'm like, it's going to rain. And he's like, day after tomorrow, it's going to rain. I'm like, no. I point to the sky and I'm like, it's going to rain now. What the hell are you talking about? It was super cloudy. I'm like, it's not going to rain in a day and a half, like 2 days. What are you smoking? And so I'm not even kidding you. 2 minutes later, it started raining. And he's just like, looks at me like I'm a witch. I swear to God. It was the funniest thing ever. Because I'm like, that's right, buddy. Because I told him, I said, we have control. I literally said that right after I said it's going to rain now. I said, we have control. We can change the way, I can change the weather. Because Jerry and Esther did one day, remember? And so I was just like, I can change the weather. I'm powerful enough to change the weather. And then we got around the corner and it started raining. It was so freaking funny. So I tell him I'm a witch. And he's like, yeah, you're really good. He just looks at me. So now I tell him I'm a meteorologist and he laughs at me. So anyway, back to my story. Hopefully I can remember it. But what was I saying? I was so stunned by the whole thing. And I could have totally sat here talking to myself without knowing that I wasn't being recorded. That was weird. So a lot of people, so the Soul Line Business book, Academy program, whatever it is, really makes you think. Oh, I was talking about Mike Dooley. Hello. He's from The Secret. Remember, he does the notes from the universe. I still get notes from the universe every day in my inbox. I've been doing that for years. But I don't really follow him at all. But one of my clients shared one of his lives. So he's going Monday through Friday in the morning and doing a live, like a 10-minute live. And so now I'm thinking about doing lives. But after I'm done with my coaching program this month, I'm actually just thinking of doing Facebook Lives in addition to this podcast. But and just basically doing all that stuff for free instead of charging for anything anymore. But anyway, so he was talking about, what was he talking about? I forgot what I was talking about, but about focusing on the things that you enjoy, focusing on the things that you like in life, and focusing, because he was talking about business, and I'm like, that's exactly what I do as well in the Soul Line Business. It's about, part of it is about just focusing on things in general, just in general in life, in general. And eventually you'll be attracted to the perfect career for you. It's really insane. It's not insane. It's really cool. So anyway, guys, I do have to go because I'm looking at the clock and I have to jump in the car in like 5 minutes. So have an amazing rest of your day and I will be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.